Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. We are looking at our favorite video of each and every weekday, that player props video that we will look to kick off this week, as we did not have any games last night in the NBA as the college championship was going on, but a nice 12-game slate to select from tonight, so plenty of player props to choose from in here. Nate does have his great article up on playpicks.com, as well as some best bets and player props in there for you. And make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Check out all 3 game videos we have up for you today, as well as this 4th video, this player props we got up for you. And make sure to head to thelines.com as well. Make sure you're checking out our odds checker there and our player props tool. Make sure you're getting the best odds and juice available from odds makers and all your NBA player props out there tonight, as well as head to play.thelines.com if you like the chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card. Just head over to that NBA Daily Pick'em Challenge there. Get all of those right, and we will send you a $25 Amazon gift card. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight's player props. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, the first game that should catch your eye is the Rockets at the Nets. Rockets playing at the fastest pace in the league by far, 105 possessions per game while going over in 4 straight. That includes a total of 271 in their last loss against Minnesota. And the Nets are actually playing at the 3rd fastest pace in that span. So this total been bet up from 242 to now 245. Kevin Porter Jr. is the most confident bet for me on the Rockets side. His prop is still at 26.5 points and assists when he's averaging 26 points in his last 4 games. It's kind of a head scratcher to me, along with 9.5 assists. So, I mean, he should smash that as he's getting slightly worse odds for the 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. I don't have a problem with that either. He's also averaging nearly 8 boards per game in that 4-game span. Without Christian Wood on the season, he goes up from 4 to 7 rebounds. He goes up to 7.5 assists. He goes up from 14 points to 22 points and is actually even more efficient, shooting 48% from the floor. He went for 20 points and 6 dimes against Brooklyn on nice 9 for 16 shooting last March. And as we know, Brooklyn is far, far worse on defense at this juncture, as they've been forced to kind of play a lot of 2 or 3 diminutive guard lineups with Irving, Mills, and Dragic sometimes on the floor at the same time. They're giving up the 3rd most points per game to point guards on the season. Don't really have a good defender in the backcourt. I mean, Kevin Durant's not going to switch onto Porter Jr. too much. It's not like they have enough respect for the Rockets to say, we need to lock you up. They're probably just going to come right back and score their points, which is, I think, where you're going with your prop.
Yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a 245 point total put up as the total line set for a game, then we're going to pick more than one prop in that game. I'm going to go back to Kyrie, who we obviously have kind of stayed away from a little bit as he's cooled down from what he had to have. Nobody could sustain shooting 60% from 3, dropping like 45 points a game, obviously. Plus, coming back and playing multiple games in a row now. We've stayed away from him a little bit, but it's definitely time to go back to Kyrie at 25.5 or 32.5 points and assists combined. Like I said, time to go back to him against a Rockets team that the last time he played them at the end of March of last year, he had 31 points and 12 assists in that time frame, 32% usage rate. So plenty to like against a Houston team that is allowing the 3rd most assists to point guards, allowing the 5th most points per game to point guards, playing at that 105 pace that you mentioned in the KPJ prop you talked about, and then Brooklyn actually playing in their last 4, also 3rd in pace at that time as well. So both these teams playing super fast. Shout out to Hater Muse, as Nate found a pretty good follow at this point on Twitter. Jaylen Green posting the 2nd worst defensive rating since the merger, not just in terms of a season. We're talking about since the ABA and the NBA merged in the 70s. That's how long it's been since someone has been as bad individually at defense as Jaylen Green has been. His opponents are shooting 8% better when they're guarded by him from the field. They're shooting 54% against him overall, highest in the league against any one player, not surprisingly. So a bunch of really bad individual stats that also help you go, all right, if anybody couldn't stop Kyrie, it's definitely Jaylen Green, since nobody else seems to be able to. Probably not the worst defender since the 70s is going to help us keep him under 26 points tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's key in terms of a get-right game for Kyrie, who, since being cleared for home games, shooting 36% from the floor and has really disappointed in the first three home games there. 24 points per game still, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's by his standards. He just has a poor efficiency output. He can definitely get right in this matchup. And you said you're worried a little bit about the blowout. Well, I wouldn't be if I'm betting on Kyrie, because the only time the Nets have covered double digits in the last month or so is when Kyrie had 60 points against Orlando. Give me a scenario in which they cruise to victory without Kyrie and KD scoring 30 points or combining for over 60. I don't think it's there. Honestly, if I was betting this game, I would take 18 points for Houston. I don't think Brooklyn is smashing anybody right now, and they have a very low cover rate at home. Looking to another game we break down, the Jazz and Grizzlies, with Donovan Mitchell set to lead the team as he has in his last 10 games, sporting that high 36.5% usage rate, averaging nearly 30 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 46% from the floor. He's hit at least 26 points in all but one of those games. That was when he tweaked his ankle in a bad loss to Dallas. So now he gets Memphis with Dylan Brooks out. And Brooks has been his primary defender in this matchup. Not that he was able to stop Donnie. He fouled out a few times in the playoffs as Mitchell went for 30 points per game, 7.5 assists, on a 38% usage rate to close out Memphis with 3 straight strong performances. In his last 3 in the regular season, Brooks has been in the lineup for most of those. 29 points per game, 7 assists, 54% from 3 for a 126 offensive rating. Dropped 35 points in back-to-back meetings with Memphis last March. Memphis, one of their few weak spots is shooting guards that can knife into the lane. They're giving up the 6th most points to that position in their last 30 games. And if you're thinking about blowouts, I don't think Memphis is going to get blown out. And that's what we talk about in the game video. If you can get 5 points or tease them up to 9 points, really the hottest team in the league right now, you got to feel great about that. Utah. And the reason that Mitchell's points and minutes are down a little bit at home is because Utah blows teams out when they can't score with the Jazz. But see Memphis coming along for the ride tonight. And when Donnie gets 36 minutes, his per 36 is 28 points. Yep. So that is all to say 26.5 points is his prop. It's only minus 106 at FanDuel. Yep. And it is a great value bet.
It's a great value bet. I mean, not only are you getting Donnie under 28, 29 points as his prop, you're also getting that great close to even money there. Yeah, I really like that. And yeah, you talk about Donnie getting 36 minutes tonight. I do think we said in the game video, we like Memphis to cover 6 points, even potentially get teased up, which means this is going to be a close enough game. Donnie's going to get, I think, those 36 minutes. And yeah, when he does, I think you can pencil in over 27 points or so in that time frame, as he also continues to just not pass the ball to Rudy Gobert and get those shots up, which is also why I like the points in this one as well. Lastly, I don't think we've talked about this young man all season, and it's time to get Poku on the books as a player props pick. Alexis Pokusevski for the Thunder. The young man has been playing really well during the Thunder Tankathon. It seems like they play the Blazers every night at this point. The NBA basically just said, okay, you guys are clearly not trying to win, Thunder and Blazers. Go ahead and just play on an island over there, and we will not televise your games. His last 4, though, for Poku, 14.5 points, 7 boards, 9 assists. He's sitting at 21.5 points and assists tonight, or even 14.5 points and rebounds and assists. That's at minus 104 on FanDuel for those ancillary stats there that we like to call them. We could also talk about the turnovers for him, 4.3 turnovers per game in his last 4. I actually saw him throw a ball over a guy's head into the upper deck on a pass that he was wide open. So he is a little bit erratic, which if you like over 4.5 turnovers tonight for the young man, you could get some really sweet, juicy odds on that. And then, yeah, I think, though, the points and assists, being serious, he definitely is putting up those stats, and he's getting the minutes as well. In the last 4, we're also talking about a couple of really impressive lines, once again, against Portland, where he got 41 minutes minutes with an 11-8-11 line there. And then versus the Suns as well, where last Sunday where he got 36 minutes. We're talking about 17, 10, and 12, a nice little triple-double against the best team in the NBA. He's had double-digit points in 8 of his last 9 home games where they play tonight, averaging 13 points and 7 boards, 5 assists in that time frame, and about 28.5 minutes per game at home. So I think his minutes will continue to be up closer to the 35 to 40 minute range against a really bad team in the Blazers that they just want to continue to get Poku some run. So I think it's a good opportunity to pounce on Poku in terms of his points and assists or his rebounds and assists, both of which I feel good about, just mostly because he keeps just getting a ton of assists.
Yeah, as long as you keep turning the ball over, you will get rewarded with more minutes in OKC right now. Maybe they're playing chess and the rest of us are playing checkers, and everyone will be making that pass that Poku makes with that somehow sails into the second row. But no, he's 7 feet tall. He's athletic. He can make plays. The turnovers are going to be there. He's going to be a really inefficient, erratic shooter, which is kind of why I like the rebounds assists more, just because of the sheer bulk of time on the floor in a game that should have plenty of stats for both teams as they just completely let their young guys run around out there. I mean, if there's 100 possessions, if he's out there for the whole time, we're talking about 35 PRA for him with a poor offensive rating. So as long as Portland keeps up the pace, and OKC has been playing much more run and gun since they started to fully embrace these young guys, I think we should get enough stats for him to just fill up those ancillary stats, as you put it.
Yep. No, I fully agree. I'm excited to take Poku tonight. I'll tune in and out of that game a bit as we watch some other better marquee matchups tonight on this big 12-game slate. And that is all the time we have for you. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. You can check out all 3 game videos we have up for you today, as well as this one here, this player props video. We'll look to stay hot with you guys on. And until we see you next, happy betting.